We reached the desert between building 1 and building 2. Here now, it is depending on how many rations you have. In ideal situations, you'd have used 4 rations up to this point. You still have 2 in your inventory. You can finish the run here from here on out with 2 rations. You can in theory also finish it with just 1, but it gets much tighter. If you have 0 rations here, the menus that I'm gonna tell you coming up will be slightly different. We will use all these rations to a certain point and put the rations in a different position in our inventory later. Just make sure, ideally when you begin, after building 1, you have at least 1 ration on you. That makes the explanations for the menus consistent with what you will do later. There will be 2 versions of this path that you can take. I'm going to show you the version where an ideal run has happened and you can walk directly towards the tank. And I'm going to show you a backup where you go walk into a truck and grab extra rations. So let's assume I only have 1 ration and I need backup. Even worse, let's assume I accidentally placed an explosive earlier too many. Consider this, we have only 1 plastic explosive. We need that one. So before we go, if the run's not over, if we accidentally place 1, go to the left truck and you can get more explosives. We need 1 more that we had just from our first set in order to continue the run. If we have 1 ration and we need extra, or we have 2 and you think you need extra, go to the right. Align yourself here with the 1 on our ammo count. Not with the 0, but with the 1. Now we can just hold up. We will not hit any of the mines, and we will immediately walk into the truck. That way we're also not getting hit by the tank because we are too fast. You heard the tank shooting us already, or we can just enter the truck here and then go up, grab the ration, get out, and then move on. The preferred way usually is that we walk up here on this line, keep going up until we meet the tank. The tank here will not be fought. The tank here will be skipped. I'm going to show you quickly, especially for beginners. This is shown to be very consistent. And we're going to punch buffer. So we punch with circle. While we stand in front of the tank, he will shoot us with his LMG, and then we can move on. The tricky part is position ourselves correctly, so we stand in front of his right thread. If we stand in front of his right thread and then punch, we can just move up because the timing will be always the same, that the tank shoots us with the LMG. We can use our iframes and we can just move up in order to skip this tank fight. Let's see that in action. And there we go. Now I'm going to show you the version what happens if you have 2 rations and you don't need any backups. For that, I just simply walk back and reset. So instead of going right, if we don't need any extra rations, we move a slightly different line. We move up here, up to the center or like middle of this truck. Basically when our head is at the head of the truck. Move right, so our vertical line, as you can see here, is in line with the right side of the door. Just like this, right? Now we can just move up. The tank will shoot down at random points and maybe can hit us. It's unfortunate, but that's the risk we take. We can move up like this and we got hit. And now we enter on the left side. To still make the trick work, we have to go to the right thread again and then go up. I found that the punch buffer does not work if you're approaching from the left. I found it only works consistently if you're approaching from the right, as I showed you in the first version. What I do instead, when you don't need a punch buffer, is I just stop holding up for a brief moment. A brief moment is clearly not defined, but I hope you can see from my inputs that are shown on screen how briefly I let go of up. It is just a short moment. I go up here, and there we go. Really just up, let go up, and we're good to go. In any case, you should have now skipped the tank. And now we move up. But first, we position ourselves again, or for the first time, depending on how you did, with the 1 in our ammo count here, and then go up. Ideally, we also menu L2, up, to the enemy uniform, L2 again. Why? Because on the next screen, we will not run into these boxes. This codec, if you hold down X and spam the D-pad, can be, once again, single frame skipped. When we have the enemy uniform on, we can move up, go left, try to skip it again, holding X and mashing some D-pad, and then move on. This door is a checkpoint. I would recommend to menu back to your level 4 card. As soon as you made it past this line with the enemy uniform on, and you just keep on moving, you don't need the enemy uniform on. L2, down, L2 to go back to the level 4 card, and enter building 2. Oops.